Hey y'all, it's Susan at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch with episode 4, Homestead Happenings. Pull up a chair, grab some coffee or tea or lemonade, and join me. Please be sure to hit the bells and whistles to see more of my content. The first year of homesteading, you grow a garden. The second year, you grow weeds. The third year, you grow a garden again and realize it's a lot like marriage. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up. Today's topic, choosing your first homestead project. So, you found your property. Congratulations! The fun begins with so many plans. Let's help you pick through all the questions and give some solid advice on what's the most important things to get done first. When my hubby and I found our little piece of heaven in God's country, it had housing. That's a plus if you have a place to live right away. Our ancestors had to build lodging first because winters can be tough without a roof over your head. We had a roof, subfloors, and walls. We had electricity, although you may plan to live off-grid. We moved into our property in late summer. Our home needed flooring, walls painted, a lot of holes fixed, some plumbing done, kitchen cabinets and sinks, and a host of other things to make it livable. We also needed a chicken coop. We looked at what the cost of the projects would be. We hired help to lay flooring and fix walls, the holes in the floor. Yeah, we really had holes in the floor. That was a big expense. Because of time constraints, we needed this work done quickly, and hopefully we had quality workmanship. Don't take shortcuts. Because our workers were also family, we had to pay gas and mileage to go pick them up and bring them back and buy them lunch each day. It adds up quickly. Hey, remember you don't need dish soap to wash eggs. Ask me how I know. Alrighty, let's do a homesteading self-assessment. Let's ask some important questions first. You may want to stop this, grab a pen and paper, and write these questions out. Number 1, what is your why? Number 2, are you looking for food security? Number 3, to save money. Number 4, is this a hobby? Number 5, a complete lifestyle change? Let's take a look at your resources. 1, how much time do you realistically have? 2, how much are you willing to invest? 3, how much space do you have, and is your project going to fit into that space? Let's look at your skills and your physical abilities. 1, are you a DIY expert or a complete beginner? 2, can you handle heavy lifting? 3, do you mind getting dirty? Climate and zone. These are non-negotiable, as citrus trees in Minnesota is a no-go. You need to know your climate and your zone. Good first-time homestead projects, such as housing, fencing, barns and coops, planting a garden area. Let's say we have housing and fencing. Maybe we need to plan a garden area. Relatively low cost up front unless you are expecting perfection. You'll need to buy a tiller, raised beds, seeds. The sunshine and rain are free, and maybe you need a compost bin and fertilizer. Should it be fenced in? I can tell you from experience that deer can destroy a garden overnight. Garden is labor intensive, and you will need a way to preserve your harvest, freezing, canning, and dehydrating. Building a chicken coop or a barn, depending on your budget, how much land you have, and for larger animals, Let's say it's chickens because I'm familiar with them. Chickens can thrive in small spaces, but pasture-raised is the best option. They will need housing that is enclosed at night with a roosting bar, nest boxes, clean water and feed. You will also need medical supplies. You need to know the basics of animal care. And believe it or not, you do not need a heat lamp in the winter months. Chicken feathers will fluff up to keep them warm. Heat lamps can be a fire hazard, especially if it's knocked down during the night. You will lose your flock. You can add fresh hay to the floor of the coop and to the nest boxes for extra warmth. Coops also need to have good airflow. In other words, you don't need to insulate your coop unless you live in really Arctic, frigid temperatures. But you can add tarps to the coop that is open like ours. Our coop is made from dog kennels wrapped in hardware wire. The roof needs to be protected to keep coons from coming in. Also, the perimeter of the coop should have pavers or wire buried to keep the animals from digging under. A good latch to keep the predators out also. We have plenty of predators in our area, so protecting our flock is a priority. We also have hiding places that they can get shade and also keep them from being picked up by predators. We have eagles, hawks, and owls that are birds of prey. They will take off with one of your flock before you know it. We also have coyote and fox in our area, black panthers, etc. You might also consider a guard animal with your flocks. Dogs are good if they're trained around chickens. A goat or a donkey would work also. Might be planning on only gathering eggs, or you may be planning on adding meat to your freezer or canning jars. Dispatching your meat birds can be daunting, but God has given us a brain that goes from a living animal to meat on the table. It's like a switch that goes off. It's a messy business, but it can be done. Our first harvest of meat was some 8-month-old roosters. They were tough meat, even after pressure cooking. We had a learning curve with our first dispatch. You will need to know the breed that is good for meat, how old they should be at the time of dispatch, when to stop feeding to clean out their system, how to safely remove the innards, how to scald and pluck, how long to let the finished meat bird rest before packaging, how to package and weigh the meat bird so that they will last longer in the freezer or in the canning jar. Other issues is identifying health issues within your flock. Is it fixable with Blue Coat if they are injured? Can you do surgery on a wing, foot, or beak? Chickens molt. They go through cycles of laying eggs depending on the breed. Some lay all year long. Some lay brown eggs, some lay colored eggs, and, of course, the white eggs. The shell color doesn't change the taste of the eggs. Trust me, I've had customers who only want white eggs or brown eggs because they believe the eggshell color makes the egg taste different. They all look the same when they're out of the shell. You will get attached to your chickens if you choose a name for them. So choose names like fricassee, nuggets, stewed, fried, etc. Believe me, names are nice, but you need to realize that once you name it, you can't eat it, even if it means going hungry. Chicken care is a daily chore, no matter the weather. As with any animal, it also means no vacations unless you have someone you can trust to take care of them while you're on vacation. Deciding to compost is another area that you may want to do as a first project. A compost bin can be small or large depending on your needs. Some people choose commercial compost barrels, while others may have a lot of yard waste and garden waste that can be composted. If you decide on a bigger compost bin, You will actually need 2 or 3 side by side. This way you can turn the compost and move it back and forth, which speeds up the composting cycle. You will need green, nitro-rich, and brown, carbon-rich, along with air and water to create nitrogen-rich soil. Items like kitchen scraps, grass clippings, dry leaves, shredded newspaper, cardboard, wood chips, and garden waste. Do not compost diseased plants, meat, dairy, and chemically treated materials to prevent pests, odors, and contamination. Also avoid plastic, glass, and synthetic materials. Balance is key. It's 2/3 brown to 1/3 green ratio to maintain the correct carbon to nitrogen ratio. Compost should be moist but not sopping wet. Piles should be turned every 1 to 2 weeks to ensure proper air circulation. Compost bins keep materials contained, promotes heat buildup, and provides oxygen for the microbes to break down the organic matter into nutrient-rich soil. Here's another first project for you, rainwater catchment system. This will save you money on water bills and provide backup water. It is environmentally friendly. It can be a simple DIY project. You need to be mindful, though, of overflow and mosquitoes. The initial cost of a rain barrel may be expensive. You must live in an area with good amount of rainfall and to keep the water healthy. Most people will add some vinegar or bleach, but never both at the same time, to the water to purify it. Rainwater can provide water for the garden, for your animals, or to wash off with. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't take too much at once. My husband and I are both the type of people that jump feet first and then realize we bit off more than we can chew. Don't overspend. Think outside the box as much as possible. We use recycled items all the time. One big mistake is copying someone else's homestead without considering your own needs first. Forgetting to include family in the decision making. Don't burn yourself out and have half-completed projects. Ignoring local laws and regulations. Make sure that you are checking your zoning laws, county ordinances for livestock, structures, etc. Underestimating the time commitment a project on paper may seem easy, but it may take more time and skills that you don't have. Start with basic, affordable setups. Don't think you need the best. You can always upgrade later on. We started our first build with skids for our first chicken coop here on the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. In Memphis, we used pallets. Free or inexpensive material will work well for a period of time. The skids were like Fort Knox. Nothing was getting in. They provided heavy walls for our coop. Oh, make sure you have a good storage area for your feed. There's nothing worse than wet feed because it's raining, or rodents because your feed wasn't stored properly. Then there are snakes that like to surprise you inside the coop or the nest box. Know which ones are the good snakes and which one are the bad snakes. We have chicken snakes and king snakes, but we also have several varieties of poisonous snakes. For the most part, our chickens take care of the snakes. We have used artificial eggs in the nest boxes to help our new chickens begin to lay. We've also had a snake or two swallow those fake eggs. The snake can't pass the fake egg, and it will crawl off and die. Be aware, chickens have personalities. They also can recognize up to 100 faces. Our chickens expect table scraps every time the back door opens. They stay hungry. Here are some tips for success. Do one project at a time. First season, make sure you have established a place to live. Second season, fencing and barns or coops. Add on one project at a time. Set realistic goals. Look for progress, not perfection. Make sure you celebrate the first wins, the first egg, the first harvest, the first jar of homemade jam. Find your local community of homesteaders and farmers. Get involved. Keep a homestead journal that will track what works for you and what doesn't. Please share in comments your best or worst homestead projects. Proverbs 12:11 says, "He that letteth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain person is void of understanding." I know personally, or I've had experience personally, with off-grid homesteading. My grandparents lived in a log cabin. For many years, they lived without electric lights. Electricity was really the only thing they brought in. They had pot-bellied stoves in the middle of each room for heat. My grandmother cooked on a wood-burning stove for many, many years, and they were secure in their log cabin. They had an outhouse. They had a well that you had to draw water. I remember many times of dipping water from the bucket out of the well to get a cool drink of water. It was always fun and pleasurable to go and visit my grandparents. So many good memories right there. Today, the Amish are really a true testament of homesteading. They live off-grid. They have well water. They have housing. They have land. They have everything that they need, and what they don't have, they make themselves. They're very creative and very personable people to get to know. They use horses with plows, and they drive horse and buggies to town. They do like the green money. They usually set up farm stands to make their money, or they do wood crafts or some other project. In closing, let's take one step at a time, one project at a time. Be serious about getting started. Be strong. Get through the hardships. Laugh at your own mistakes, but never give up. Thank you, friends, for sticking with me in the homestead happenings. I'm looking forward to hearing how you began or are planning on beginning your homestead journey. If you find this podcast helpful, please be sure to hype it and share it out. Be on the lookout for next week's podcast, Episode 5, Mistakes Beginners Make on Their First Homestead Project. Our podcast comes out every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope to see you there.